What's up guys, Shane Figure 3D Printing, and today we're going to check out some TPU from Priline. Welcome back. As I said, this is Priline TPU that I'm testing out today, and this is one of many different types of filament that Priline sent me. I've already tested out 3 other different kinds. This is box number 4, and it is their TPU, and it's in a pretty dark green. So here on the box, same as all the other ones, it's a pretty generic China box. This is a China filament. It has their sticker here on top, Priline TPU filament. Down here it tells us Priline, it's TPU green spool 1.75 millimeters, and this is a kilogram roll, which I like to see full rolls come in. And here we have it. So it's vacuum sealed, not great, but it is vacuum sealed. It's the same spool that the other ones had, so it's got that kind of cube shape pattern on it, which is pretty common for the spools coming out of China. A lot of companies use this actual spool design. I need a knife or something. We've got a silica pack down in there, and here it is. So it's kind of a muted green color, we'll say. I'm not sure if that's actually a word. A dull green. So it's not like in your face. I've got like this is like super bright. Actually, it looks really bright on the camera. Now look at that. It is not. There is a vast difference between this green and this green in person. But it's kind of a muted color. It's I'll call this a semi-flex. They don't actually say what what's that called? Like the A rating? What is that called? The flexibility rating for something. Can't remember what it is right now. Anyways, they don't tell you exactly what that rating is for this filament, but it is a semi-flex, so I think I could probably crank this up to print pretty fast. It does have, so if I'm able to see this, I grab a piece of it here and kind of pull, it does flex out just a little bit, stretches a little bit. Let's actually see here. Let's see if we get a piece here out. Set it down so we don't lose our end. If I pull it, that stretches. That's hard to stretch. I made 1 inch turn into 4 inches, so 4-to-1 ratio maybe, or a 3-to-1 ratio, something like that. We'll snip that. It's a nice clip on there. Of course, it's flexible, so it's not going to bend or break on you, but flexible filament is, forgive me if the word is wrong, hygroscopic, which means it absorbs moisture a lot fast. Muy macho of it, I don't know. It absorbs a lot of moisture basically, so you need to keep this stuff dry. Thankfully, this way, there I have a food dehydrator. So I will do a test print with this first to see how dry it actually is, and it might need to be dried a little bit in the dehydrator. I had problems with 3D Solutech's flexible filament, did that, A-okay nowadays. So I'm going to throw this on a few of the direct drives. This is pretty rigid, so again, I wonder if this would work on a Bowden. You can do that if you do some of the modifications that bring the PTFE tube closer to your extruder gear. So if this is your gear that's turning, you put PTFE tubing close to it here, and you have an idler right here that pushes it. There's less likely for the filament to kink in the extruder, so as it's coming through and it goes, cranks up like that, and then you just get this gobbledygook get up in there, and you have a failed print. So we'll see if that works. I have both my CR10 and CR10S have modified extruders on them, and the Ender does not, and I have a couple direct drives. So again, I'll throw this on a couple different printers, see how much flex we can actually get out of this doing high walls, or high wall count, or high top and bottom layers, high infill, low infill, see what kind of squishiness we can get, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back in just a minute with some completed prints. So flexible filament is kind of a roller coaster if you don't care for it properly. You can get flexible filament that works straight out of the bag, or the box, the bag that comes in, and it works just fine without a problem. Some you're going to get that have some moisture in them. This one was kind of in between. So what ended up happening is that I had several nice prints come out here, and they were going great. Then I had others that you could definitely tell some moisture got into the filament while it was out here. I think it's because I now have the air conditioner running down here in the basement, where throughout the winter it was not a problem. It's very dry here. But once I put that air conditioner on, it seems to add a lot more moisture into the air, and I think that's what's causing issues with this filament in particular. But I ended up throwing it into the food dehydrator that I have sitting behind me under my desk, reprinted things, and it came out just fine. Now this flexible filament has quite a high, it's called a shore rating. So it's going to be the stiffness, or it's like the amount of, the rating is for like how quickly it comes back to its same shape or something like that, or it's its stiffness, it's something like that. But the rating, the stiffness rating I'm going to call it, is very, very high on this. This octopus is quite hard. Not quite PLA hard, but I can just barely squeeze him. And he's only got like a 10% infill, pretty low infill, with 3 walls, 3 perimeters. And then I have another one here that is, this one is 2 walls, 2 perimeters. This one is 3, and this one is absolutely rock hard. I cannot do anything. I can barely even push in the sides. It is so doggone stiff. And this one much more flexible in comparison to the 3-wall one. But yeah, even things for like the door, I made the Hodor doorstop. It's flexible, yes, but it doesn't give a ton in the actual print itself. So just kind of keep that in mind, is that if you do pick up this filament and you do use it, be mindful it's not going to be the softest flexible filament out there. It's actually going to be on the higher end and rather stiff, because even here with this wheel, this is one of the Lego wheels. This is only a 300% scale of the Lego tire that I printed when I did the giant Lego cart. It is flexible. You know, I can flex it because it's got a giant opening in the middle, but each of the actual the tread on it doesn't really give at all. At least not that I can do with my hands. I bet you if I got a pair of pliers, yeah, I could do it, but it doesn't give much at all. So now let's take a closer look. I'll kind of show you what it was before I dried the filament, when I was having issues, and then after I dried the filament, to show you kind of all the different phases in its flexible's life. It's difficult, so just keep that in mind. Let's look. First print, as usual, my maker coin. It came out beautifully. Buttery smooth all around it, no under extrusions anywhere. You know, I had the extrusion multiplier set just right. It just came out super duper well. Bottom layers as well came out really nice. You are going to see a little bit of inconsistencies when it's over support. It doesn't lay as nicely as PLA or PETG or anything like that. It, you know, lays differently. It doesn't adhere as well when it's stringy like this. It adheres well when it's just straight on another layer. But bottom layer came out really nice. All here was really nice. Walls are great. So it turned out really, really nice, and I was super happy with this one so far. So next thing I printed was the 300% Lego wheel, the Lego tire, again, that I used in my Lego cart video. And again, you can see it is moderately flexible. You know, it's still pretty tough. I mean, I'm putting a fair bit of force on this in order to squish it down. I can't quite square it up just because it's still so doggone stiff. It did really well on printing over basically like a bridge. It's hard to see in there, I know. But basically printing over that, it did really well. I was surprised about that. The first layer was really good. Top layer is really nice and smooth. And again, walls, again, also really nice and smooth. All right, and then I went ahead and printed a 100% benchy. So you know, he flexes a bit, and I can squish him down. It's 2 walls, 20% infill. And you can see here, I was starting to have a little bit of issues on the first layer. I didn't change anything, but my offset was off by just a smidge, but also there is some under extrusion issues there. And then we started having a bit of spotting under extrusion through the print. It still came out pretty well, but we were starting to see a little bit of issues. Then I went ahead and printed the Hodor doorstop, which I was expecting to see some issues. Up top, where you can already see there's a few little inconsistencies here and there. I believe those are just the holes where the infill was not. But the walls, great. Actually fan-freaking-tastic on this. Really nice. Bottom layer though, we had some inconsistencies on the bottom layer. You know, it wasn't that it was too close, it wasn't that it was too far, it's just that it stopped extruding every now and then for some odd reason. Very strange, but again, the rest of the print came out really, really well. Now here's where things really started to take a turn. So this was an Easter egg that I printed, and I think I showed these on social media or something like that. But we were going really well, and then we started hitting issues, and you can see quite a bit of under extrusions starting to happen towards the top of this print. Now the filament is starting to get moisture in it. It was starting to pop. I'm going to guess because I was not around when this happened, but normally that's what happens when you get moisture in the filament. It's going to start to pop and things like that. And then I went ahead and did this print, and the entire print is all jacked up with that. So I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. I think it's getting moist. Threw it in the dehydrator for a couple hours, brought it out, started this print, and same issue. Getting the weird under extrusions, a lot of inconsistencies. There's still a problem. Okay, so I went ahead and threw it back into the dehydrator for an entire day, so 24 hours, and then I printed out this. Now this is a iPhone 6 Plus case. I thought it was supposed to be a regular 6. I thought it was going to fit my phone, but lo and behold, it does not. I mean, it almost fits the OtterBox case around it that's on it, but other than that, yeah, that doesn't work out too well. So, but this came out really well. Bottom layer is really nice. There is some drooping here just because I didn't use support, and that is inevitable with, again, flexible filament. So you basically just pull all that off and you can just discount it because it's not going to affect any of the quality of the print, at least for this one it didn't. But yeah, walls, very nice and smooth. Bottom layer was good. Top layer inside here was good. On the overhangs it did really well, except for, again, some of these parts right here that were a bit stringy there. But so I liked it. Everything was going well. I shouldn't say it was going well. It went well from then on out. I went ahead and printed out this vase, and this obviously does not hold any water because there is some issues with some of these extreme changes here, but I mean, it is completely flexible. I can chew it all up and it goes right back out. You can twist it as much as you want and it just writes itself. It's really nice. But yeah, the consistencies were pretty consistent through it. The filament was consistent throughout the entire print here, so I can't really complain about it, nice and soft. So in a vase mode, it actually is not terribly stiff. I mean, it is stiff, but it's a lot less than I would expected, and a lot less definitely since it doesn't have any infill behind it. So these were the two octopuses that I printed, and both of these were obviously just fine. This one is the 3-wall version, and I can barely squeeze that. And then, I'm sorry, this is the 2-wall version. So this is the 2-wall version, and I can barely squeeze that in. And then we have the 3-wall version. I can't do anything with it at all. Nothing. I mean, I'm just not strong enough. I mean, the tentacles are equally as malleable in both of them, so because there's not 3 wide thick to get on there, 3 layers thick. So that ended up being pretty easy, but bottom layer, this one came out good. This one was a little bit inconsistent for some reason. It's just an issue with this filament, I mean, this isn't the top shelf stuff, but I mean, it still worked. So yeah, what I just said there, this isn't top shelf filament. This is not even, I would say this is mediocre filament for flexible. The price is good. I'll give it that. I'll put a link down to Amazon. You guys can check it out down there. The price varies a little bit, so just go ahead and check it out there. It is cheaper than a lot of other manufacturers out there, and you're getting middle of the road. I definitely would make sure you have a food dehydrator when you're using this because it definitely absorbed a lot of moisture, and I had to let it sit in the dehydrator for at least a day. I mean, it might have taken 12 hours instead of 24, but I set it one night, got it out the next night, and then printed with it, and it was fine then. But I let it go an entire day on low in my dehydrator, which is about, what I have set there. So low, I guesstimate in that one is 45 centigrade for 12 hours. So that's, it worked. Hooray. It might work for you guys too, so you have to check that out. All in all, what I think, again, it's middle of the road filament. If you guys want to check it out, it's down below. If you're looking for something cheap that you need to get something just printed, in mass in a flexible filament, this will be it. Keep it dry. Maybe use one of those enclosures for it, or if you have an enclosed printer, put it inside of there. The heat from the printer will help keep the moisture out of this. It'll help, keep the air dry inside the chamber. A lot of different things you can do with it, but again, this is middle of the road. I would use it if I had to do, again, all the wheels that I did for that Lego cart. I ended up buying the 3D Solutech Flexible, which was great. I think if I would have kept this dry, I could probably print all those wheels out with this filament, not a problem. So take it for what it is on that. That's it, guys. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you think that you might want to check this out, again, down below there's a link in the video description to Amazon where you guys can purchase this. And I will say this filament was sent to me by Priline for the purpose of this review. No money was exchanged. I didn't pay them, they didn't pay me. All they said they would give me this filament so I could do a review of it here on my channel. So here it is. I thank you guys for watching, and if you guys liked the video, if you think you want to check this out, please give it a big thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Either way, talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the filament or any of these videos that I do. If you guys want to stay on top of what's going on, become a subscriber. And if you want to get email notification when I upload new content or do a live stream, anything like that, hit that bell icon and you'll be one of the first ones to know. If you guys want to support me financially, lots of ways to do that. Down below me is a Patreon link. Become a Patreon, join the monthly crew, donate me $1 or more. and that money goes here to help build the channel, make things great. If you guys want to do a one-time donation, there's the links down in the video description, or if you just want to update your bookmarks with some of my affiliate links down below, Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, all those kind of vendors, do your daily shopping with those, and a little slice of what you buy ends up coming to me at no cost to you. And again, that helps me buy things here for the channel. I thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, happy printing.